He was a bit boisterous, and I think he just threw his clothes off. Just want to check down your trousers now, mate. Bend over. Bend over. I'm not going to touch you, mate. Just bend over. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Lovely. Not really. See you back.
He's got nothing down there that shouldn't be there.
When you calm down, they'll speak to you.
As you can hear, he's up and down, so he's obviously on some sort of substance now. Because one minute he's nice and calm and quiet, and the next minute he's off, mouthing off and performing. It's not an everyday event for me. He's just trying it on. He was interviewed in the morning in relation to the small bag of white powder that was found, and he denied that was his. He was bailed pending the drugs being sent off to the lab for analysis, and the result came back that it was indeed amphet.
In Swansea, they've been going over the drug dealer's car all night with a fine-toothed comb.
I think he felt confident and happy that he'd hidden it somewhere that we weren't going to find it. The determination level then was that, no, I will find it.
And find it, PC Morgan has.
Yes! Yes! Get in there. I knew it was in there. Get in there.
A small package of hidden treasure in the engine bay. Missed by the dog because it had been too hot for him at the time.
Right, what we need to do now is get it scenes of crime and shot good and photographed in situ.
Having spent so much time on that car looking for it, the elation was quite evident.
And thankfully, at 1:45 we found it.
I'd see me so calm when we tell him. He may start sweating a bit. I think he thought he'd get away with it, didn't he?
Okay, well done, bud. Excellent. That's the only place I couldn't put the dog because the thing was hot. How much do you find?
But just over 1 kilo.
It's genuine or we put him on leg?
No, genuine, it's not 1 kilo, it's just about, it's a sunglasses case, it is made full. Probably in the region of about 2.25 ounces, something like that.
Perseverance and patience was worthwhile.
Pounds of heroin.
We're just taking a picture of those, sure.
Yeah.
What we've been told it is an ounce, a brown ounce of rock. So it's not bad, isn't it? So it's probably about top line, probably about 11 grand. No, from both.
It's been a successful but long day and night for the interceptors.
We were due to finish at 6, and we were still in work at 9 the following morning.
Christopher, who they caught at the beginning of their shift and who helped them rack up their overtime, was jailed for 4 years for possession of heroin and crack cocaine with intent to supply and possession of an offensive weapon. The school bus driver, caught driving under the influence of drugs, was given a 56-day suspended prison sentence and disqualified from driving for 2.5 years. The wanted man, who had something to hide, was not charged with any drug offences, but he was disqualified from driving for 6 months and fined £150 for driving with no insurance. His friend, the hitchhiker, spent 14 days in prison for the offences he was wanted for, which included possession of crack cocaine. The man who thought the law was diabolical never turned up for his day in court, but he was eventually detained trying to board a plane for Denmark.
Tonight at 10, some stellar stand-up with Eddie Izzard's Force Majeure, while next up it's time for more Traffic Cops.
They'll get you anything with that evil smile. Everybody's got a drug dealer on speed dial. Well, hey, I wanna be a rock star. Hey,
the Victorians who cherished the idea of home as a domestic haven. Many of the appealing innovations they welcomed into their homes, they were killers.
I'm going to search out these hidden killers and reveal how science both created them and solved the problems they caused.
Hidden Killers of the Home starts Tuesday the 19th of January, new to yesterday.
In an hour, Stephen Fry does his best to make your weekend end on a high note with the wittiest comedians he could find on QYXL. Now though, it's more about speed than height with Traffic Cops.
It's very simple. You just...
Zeus himself had sculpted those acts. A thunder was rising deep within me. As I quivered, Kevin removes his chaps.
Tonight in South Wales, life on camera with the Traffic Cops.
Someone contact CCTV and ask them to retain that tape because we're going to be needing it over.
On a mission to catch a hit-and-run driver.
He hasn't stopped, and that's the underlying factor. Someone could be dead.
An impossible search for a phantom car.
If it is a Renault, which I think it might be, it's going to have front-end damage to the bonnet area.
And an extraordinary slip of fate revealed on candid camera.
You've wasted my time, 4 other police traffic cars, okay, 2 paramedics and an ambulance, and all these people in here. We viewed the CCTV.
He's obviously not thinking correctly, because if you're going to fake a road traffic collision, you don't do it outside your friend's house that you know has CCTV.
It's a quiet Sunday morning in Swansea, in South Wales. And these cameras, next to a Chinese takeaway, happen to be trained on the road outside. An unfortunate man out buying his Sunday papers has just been mown down by a callous hit-and-run driver, seen only by the camera and a solitary passerby.
I could see a body in the curb at the side of the road, and I could see this car accelerating down the road, going like hell, and it had a very distinctive engine noise because it was being revved highly. As I was running down, there was a Volkswagen Beetle coming up, so I flagged that down and pointed.
As luck would have it, the driver of the Beetle is an off-duty community support officer.
He was conscious and breathing. He was bleeding quite a lot from his head. Everywhere else looked okay. We were just trying to get him to stay still, so obviously we didn't know the extent of his injuries. The man told me that he'd been involved in a hit and run, the car had made off.
PCSOs aren't actual cops, but luckily for the man, they do carry radios. With the alarm having been quickly raised, Traffic Cop PC Dave Mellor is on his way to the accident and might even have a chance to intercept the runaway driver.
It had come over as a pedestrian had been hit over. I don't remember if anyone had said that he was bleeding up, but you start thinking the worst. I remember trying to drive there and thinking, do we just take the straightest, most direct route, or do we get there as quickly as we can, maybe taking an alternative route, just in case that vehicle comes the opposite way.
An ambulance is going straight there, but it's not the reassuring noise of its siren that the witness has heard first.
The PCSO was on her phone, and I could hear this distinctive engine noise coming back down Llangafelach Road. And I thought, that's the same engine noise. Well, as the car came to where I was, because I was slightly around the corner, it slowed, and I could see that somebody was looking at the scene. As soon as I looked up, I couldn't recognise him. This car went belting down the road again. Same engine noise again. So I knew it was the car. Not having a very good memory, I started repeating the car number out loud, out loud, out loud, until I knew she'd written it down.
The victim's in a bad way and losing a lot of blood, but he is still alive.
Help, help, he was shouting. So don't move, look, whatever you do. So he tried to raise his head. I said, look, keep yourself still. Don't move, whatever you do. I said, look, the ambulance is on its way. It'll be here in minutes.
He said he was feeling cold, so we got him some blankets to try and keep him warm until the ambulance got there. I was just hoping the man was okay. He's more concerned about his dog in the house than anything else.
The ambulance has finally arrived, along with PC Mellor, who didn't catch sight of the red Metro.
When I first got there, I could see there was an ambulance there. I could see there were what I thought was 2 witnesses. One of them transpired to be a PCSO. I was overwhelmed at what I saw. The amount of blood that was there, I thought he'd be dead.
Thankfully, the paramedics have been able to get here in time to save the man's life.
You know, we're not looking at a fatal, we're not looking at a murder scene straight away. It's still going to be treated like that because things could have deteriorated in hospitals, as things do.
It was only a very short walk from his home for the man to get his papers.
I'm looking at the newsagents here, which is probably 50, 60 metres in front of me, and his house, which is 10, 15 metres, so in the space of 100 metres from his house. Not even that. I just can't get over how careless the driver is not to stop at the scene. Yes, fear comes into it, of course it does, human nature, but human nature also says, I've hit someone over, I need to make sure they're all right. But the fact he's come back round, you know, he's done the loop, and again, knowing the area, he's done 1 or 2 options down at the bottom. To come back round, he's obviously aware that it's occurred. You can't not know from the bloody windscreen. You can't not know from the sound of the impact. But he's come back round, whether it's the check or whether it's the, I need to get out here quick, chap. But still, even by checking, he hasn't stopped. And that's the underlying factor. Someone could be dead.
The hunt is on for the hit-and-run driver. Luckily, they've got a head start, thanks to some positive thinking by the witness. The car's registration has led the cops to an address nearby.
Steve, our shift biker, went to the owner's address, where it transpired the vehicle was actually stolen.
The car's only just been stolen.
In the meantime, another call had come in relation to a small red vehicle that had been seen driving erratically in an area less than 2 miles away.
While the investigation goes on, 40 miles away in Cardiff, traffic cop PC Tony Lewis is on patrol in one of the suburbs. He worked for a solicitor's for 5 years before deciding instead of defending criminals, he'd rather be out catching them and putting them away.
I've got a lot of friends who are solicitors, and a lot of them are criminal solicitors. It gives you a bit of an insight as to what they're looking for, obviously with your evidence, etc. How thorough you need to be with it to make sure everything's in place. The last thing you want is for somebody to get off on a little technicality.
PC Lewis has seen a car ahead that's, beyond reasonable doubt, going too fast.
The speed limit is 30 miles an hour.
Actually being able to take up a position behind him and maintained a follow position on him, where I've recorded his speed at being not less than 42 miles per hour.
Just clocked the police car behind him.
So 300 yards with a police car behind you. You should have noticed it really, shouldn't you? If you're looking in your mirrors and using them as you're supposed to.
The driver's failed to keep his eye on another potential problem as well.
If you have a look at the rear offside tyre, that appears to be considerably inflated as well.
His first words to me were speeding, so he knew the reason why I'd stopped him.
But he's got a good excuse.
Yeah, my foot slipped on the accelerator.
I was obviously slipped down for a long time, didn't I? Yeah? Obviously for 3 or 4 seconds that foot slipped down. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Okay, is your car?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Stephen.
Okay. That tyre is under deflated as well, mate. If you put your foot on it, you'll probably find it goes right down.
I'll get that changed.
Sorry?
I'll get that changed.
You might have a slow puncture or something like that. You ever been in trouble with the police, Steve? No, never been arrested.
He's not slipped up before, but he does have connections with the law.
Okay. Sorry?
My father was a magistrate. So
your father was a magistrate? You should know better then, shouldn't you?
I should know better.
Shouldn't you? Come take a seat in the car then, mate.
We get lines like that quite often. I think they expect to get treated differently.
I'm still not used to the power of that yet, anyway.
You're not used to the power of it?
Yeah, well, I had a 1600 Escort before, and it's 2 litre, that is.
Okay. I'm just going to caution you, Steve, all right? You don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. If you do not mention any questions, something which relates to lying in court, anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand that?
Yep.
Okay. First thing you said to me when I stopped you, yeah, was what?
My foot slipped on it.
My foot slipped, okay. So how fast do you think you were going?
About 40, I think it was.
About 40?
It was more than 30.
More than 40?
It was it?
Yeah. It's 42 miles an hour, mate.
Oh, blimey.
42 and a 30, okay. In a busy residential estate, which Ely is.
Yeah.
All right. At 20 to 12 in the summer holidays.
Yeah, I know, stupid, didn't I?
Well, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Likelihood, children playing in the area, young children, yeah?
Yeah.
Unaccompanied by adults.
Yeah.
Football runs out into the road. I'm just giving you a scenario now.
Yeah.
One of the kids runs out after it, and you're doing 42 miles an hour up the road.
And I can't stop in time.
You can't stop. Your one tyre's underinflated, yeah? It's not good, is it?
No.
Do you have any points on your licence?
No.
Are you willing to accept an endorsable fixed penalty notice in respect to the offence?
Yeah.
When people are speeding and they're speeding in front of you, I mean, what more can you do? You're in a big marked police car. You stand out whenever you're on the road and they're still doing those speeds in front of you. There is the document, okay?
Okay.
For your own safety and the safety of others, please slow down a bit, yeah?
Yeah.
And at your earliest convenience, get that tyre sorted.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, you're going to test us now, so we can get it done.
Okay. He received, in these circumstances, 3 points and a £60 fine.
Hope not to see you again.
Don't be like that.
Oh, no, I don't mean it in a good way.
Watch yourself. All right, take care.
I'm with John now.
He realised and accepted that what he'd been doing was wrong. These things happen, mate. Take care.
All right, cheers.
He was lucky he didn't say his father was a solicitor or something like that.
At MB&A, we're not really into all the exciting things you can buy with your credit card, like holidays, spa weekends, or gig tickets. We're just good at all the boring, techie number stuff, the making it all work stuff. That's why we've had over 149 million transactions this last year. And why we're Moneyfact's credit card provider of the year. Again, we're your experts, your number nerds, your payment ninjas. We're MB&A and we're boringly good at credit card stuff.
It's all over for another year. The turkey. The repeats. And of course, New Year's Eve. Now it's time for me to think about my digestive well-being.
Activia contains calcium that supports the normal function of digestive enzymes, because when your tummy smiles,
You smile. Feed your inner smile this January with Activia.
Buenos Aires, Tommy. What are you watching?
Nothing yet, mate. I can't find the remote.
Oh, you're not going to watch these then?
No, I've seen them loads of times.
Can I have them?
Be my guest.
Can I have your old phone?
Yeah, if you want.
And these?
Listen.
And your console?
You'd be doing me a favour.
Belter! Get in! Great doing business with you, Tommy.
Stop doing that.
The surprisingly easy way to get rid of clutter. Now with same-day payments. musicmagpie.co.uk.
Ever wondered why you have so many cough products? 1 in 3 people don't even know what type of cough they have. BronchoStop, our first traditional herbal treatment to relieve any cough. BronchoStop contains a unique combination of ingredients not found in other cough products, meaning it can be used for the relief of dry, tickly coughs and chesty, mucus or catarrh coughs. BronchoStop, to relieve any cough and for relief on the go. Try new BronchoStop pastils. Unlike popular non-medicated lozenges, they're used to relieve a cough. BronchoStop, to relieve any cough.
right now at Benson's for Beds, in our winter sale, be better off with half price off selected beds. Don't miss out. Be comfortable. Be Benson's.
Dragon Soul.
A team RPG with attitude. Insane heroes. Berserker. Dragon Lady. Electro Yeti. And Vicious Dragons. An RPG like no other. Search for Dragon Soul today. Dragon Soul. Download Dragon Soul now for free in the App Store.
Everyone's got an Experian credit score, but if you don't look after it, then it can't look after you. We've helped over 7 million people nurture their score, and we can show you how to improve and nurture yours. To help you get a better rate on loans, credit cards, or even a mortgage. Sign up today at Experian.co.uk. Experian, make it count.
The biggest ever BT sale is now on. And we've cut more prices than ever before. With 40% off broadband, plus great deals on BT TV and BT Mobile. Make the start of your year a big deal. Don't miss the biggest ever BT sale. Join today. Call 0800 005 800 or visit bt.com/sale to find out more.
This January, the Have I Got News For You workout is the first step to a happier you.
I do 1 rep of week's headlines, 1 rep of odd one out round, a little bit of banter, missing words, and then repeat. It's basically just watching Have I Got News For You over and over again. Sometimes I have a cup of tea and a biscuit with it.
Have I Got a Bit More News For You? Starts Sunday the 10th of January on Dave.
Back in Swansea, where the stolen red Metro sped off, leaving a pedestrian for dead, the traffic cops are retracing the route the driver might have taken.
Having been born and brought up in the area, I wanted to make 100% certain that the direction of travel that could have been taken was the one that was taken.
Like Fitz in Cracker, PC Mellor's trying to get into the head of the hit-and-run driver and understand the psychology of what he did.
From waiting at the junction, you had a clear view going across the junction. The vehicle's turned in. Collisions occurred here. He's actually carried the pedestrian where he's landed here, so it doesn't look a great distance, but when you're travelling on front of someone else's bonnet, that's big enough for me. The driver then has fled the scene. It sort of helps with your own mindset then, as right, okay, are there any questions I need to look at? Is there any evidence that's been dumped off there? Coming back up to the junction where the driver, don't know if he swerved to avoid here or whether he's tried to have a look in. CCTV's picked him up at this point again. We'll never know why he came back. I'm hoping it's because he thought, I need to find out. But yeah, more fool him for doing that, because the witness that was there has clocked the car. What a brilliant witness. I can't praise the witness enough.
Some other star witnesses have been responsible for finding the stolen car.
We found the vehicle at the time. Thankfully, members of the public are good enough to phone in and report a small red vehicle that had been seen driving erratically. So my sergeant, Richie, has gone there. Lo and behold, he's found the car.
It's been brought in for a thorough examination. It's down to CSI Swansea, the police forensics experts, to come up with some evidence as to who might have been responsible for stealing the car and running down the pedestrian.
It's a good gouge out. Good gouge out the tyre. Thankfully, Neris was there. And she knows her onions with her job.
Due to the nature of the offence and it's a nasty collision, person's obviously injured. So I'm going to do a swab now with the gear stick, continue my examination and eventually be powdering it. Obviously all of this is to do in the hope of identifying the offender.
We didn't know anything about the driver whatsoever, so the more evidence that Neris could have got from that car, the better.
Which has been ripped off on that side to give you access to the ignition in order to steal it. In order to do that, they have to usually break away at this plastic. So thankfully there's a little section just in the footwell here, which seems to have some kind of disturbance within it, within the dust. So we're sending that away for chemical treatment internally at police headquarters in the hope of developing marks on it then.
Metal and plastic are two of the greatest things you can get fingerprints from.
There's some force applied, so there's disturbance used on it, so sometimes in effect you can see there's scuff marks on it. So it'll up to the lab to use the best chemicals, which is usually super glue and this type of item really to develop them.
The images that we had from the CCTV, we were able to enhance it quite a bit. And you could see there was only one person in that vehicle. Unfortunately, we couldn't enhance it enough to get a facial ident on there, but it was more than enough to show that whoever was in that vehicle at the time was the sole occupant, so they were the only person responsible for causing that collision.
There's often a negative stereotype associated with women drivers, but it doesn't apply to female traffic cops. They're every bit as good drivers as the men, and even share the same dreams of being in Jensen Button's shoes.
Always wanted to be a traffic officer. I love my racing, my Formula 1, any motorsport. I love my cars, anything like that. But yeah, it was a natural progression. It was something I wanted to do from a child.
This afternoon, PC Laura Griffiths is on patrol on the outskirts of Swansea. The news is that a car has crashed off the road and someone is trapped.
Two elderly people, injuries unknown.
Yeah, no, show me code 6 then, please. As I got there, all I could really see was this car just up on the pavement, nose first into a house, up against a lamppost. You're trying to work out what's going through my mind is, how's he got you?
Hello, my darling, you all right?
The couple in the car aren't injured, but it's not the best bit of parking in the world. The driver's had a bit of foot trouble, and now he's trapped.
My foot caught under the other tread, and I got my brake on.
Trap can mean so many different things. Trapped upside down, trapped can't get out, feet trapped, but he was only trapped because the lamppost was in the way. He's got his foot stuck underneath the pedal. He's gone off the road and hit a house on the carriageway heading out to Llansamlet. Doesn't appear to be any injuries at the moment, just a bit shaken. Looking around, I could see then he'd knocked the wall down and the front of the car had disappeared. It could have been worse if he'd hit other cars. He was very honest, in all fairness to him. He's like, yeah, the foot got stuck, couldn't get it from around the pedals, and as he said to me, it was either careering into a line of traffic or the wall.
Just in case there are any hidden injuries, the pair are going to be checked over by ambulance staff once they've been set free.
It's the wheel it is, hold on. There we are. Can you get out to there now? There we are, sweetheart. Ambulance are here now.
Everybody look at me now and say it's over the age after driving.
Don't be daft. When he'd hit the wall, he'd sort of bounced back a little bit and hit the car that was parked in the lay-by.
No, I was just stationed the car was.
All right.
I'm sat in my car bit.
All right.
So the car's over there.
It was minimal damage. It was just a dent to the back door. Not nice for them. He just caught on the rebound off the wall. Because of the force he'd gone into it, it had demolished the wall and fallen onto the house.
It's ripped off most of the wall. It's all cracked all the way down to the side, down to there. And it seems as if it's actually hit the front of my house as well. So we'll have to get a structural engineer up here.
She wasn't injured. She didn't want to go to hospital, neither did her husband. It was a reassuring mission from the ambulance crew, just to sort of calm her down and make her realise, things like this happen every day, and he'd been driving for so long, never had a bump. It was a big issue of pride for him. His pride was severely dented. To the point he said he'd never be driving again, which is quite sad.
As day slips into night, in Cardiff, PC Tony Lewis has got an emergency call that a pedestrian has been run over.
Yeah, responding to a report of a road traffic collision.
It's another hit and run by the sound of it.
A vehicle and a pedestrian, so not aware how serious the injuries are or the circumstances in relation to it at this time.
You're just thinking a number of things. Is this the vehicle stolen? And is that the reason why it hasn't stopped? Is the driver under the influence of alcohol? Is that another reason why they haven't started? Are they disqualified? And until you get there and assess what's actually happened, your mind's just racing. You want to get there as quickly as possible.
The accidents happened in a quiet residential area of Cardiff, an unusual place for a pedestrian to be run down at this time of night.
There was a young male lying in the carriageway, somewhere in the region of 18 to 20 years of age.
Hi mate, what's your name? What's happened?
He appeared to be slightly under the influence of alcohol. He was just complaining of a leg injury, and almost immediately we've been joined by paramedics.
This car came from that way.
Right.
And just like hit my left side of my body.
Okay.
And that was it.
Has the vehicle stopped?
No, it went that way and bazoo.
Okay. Who else was with you?
My mate dropped me off, but he had gone.
Okay.
The young man's had a bit to drink. He's hurt his leg, but nothing's broken.
Did you see the car?
No, I was at home in bed.
It's quite difficult when people are under the influence of alcohol or other substances to assess just how seriously injured they are.
You can touch his leg, it's fine, I can move that way. Yeah, this one, but somebody's touching now. Did you go down?
PC Lewis has got a lucky break. The injured man managed to get a glimpse of the mystery car and part of its number.
All I can see at the moment in my eyes is that it was GK,
yeah.
It was red.
A red VW starting GK, yeah?
He's advised me of a vehicle which has collided with him, a red Volkswagen. He's obtained a partial index, which was Golf Kilo.
Do you see which way it went?
It went that way, and it
or straight up, or you don't know?
I don't know, I'm so sorry, mate.
Okay, no worries. That's all right. It's all right, I'm going to put forward. Can I just give you a brief update regarding this collision?
Yeah, fire away.
Yeah, thank you. It's a fail to stop, PIRTC. The offending vehicle is a red in colour Volkswagen. 5-10 minutes, the injured party is still lying in the carriageway.
Those policing units have made their way to the area, and they're also carrying out a search for the offending vehicle. Because obviously we take fail to stop road traffic collisions very seriously.
All you can see is it's a red VW, starting with index Golf Kilo. See, his dad's coming now, yeah?
The only 2 red VWs in the area have been checked out. They're still on their driveways and haven't recently been driven.
Do you think it was a car? Was it a car or a van?
It was definitely a car.
Not a transporter van? No?
No, it happened so quickly.
Okay, mate.
It was red. All I know that it was red and it was GK.
Carry out a general search of the area, see if a vehicle's been parked up or anything like that. And as it happened, we weren't able to locate any vehicle.
The young man's dad, who lives nearby, has arrived.
It's only 7 or 8 doors away from where he lives. A number of neighbours have come out. They've obviously recognised the male. One of them has then gone and informed the male's father.
Dad,
I know this chap's looking after you. You've got to think seriously now.
I know that it came from that way.
Yeah.
Where this man's standing, yeah? And all I do is cross from there to here, and this car came zooming through, and...
Definitely a car or a van?
I don't know. All I can see is this lights coming towards my eyes, and it was red.
Did it hit you full on or side on?
I don't know.
All he's worried about is his son. You can see his son lying in the carriageway with injuries, and the vehicle, which is responsible for these injuries, has left the scene. He wants that vehicle and person traced as soon as possible.
CCTV might help trace the mystery vehicle. Their use for surveillance by local authorities might be controversial, but when it comes to what happens on the roads, the cameras don't lie. In Swansea, something has happened in range of a camera. It looks like an accident on a section of dual carriageway. PC Griffiths is the nearest traffic cop to the incident, and she needs to be quick. Another driver is trapped.
As an RTC taxi driver is trapped in the vehicle at present. Fire service are in the process of keeping him free. At present, we don't know the extent of injuries because they can't get close enough to him.
Yeah, noted. I'm just leaving in this video now. If you show me code 5, please, I'll get there as soon as I can.
The trap driver's been able to give details of another car involved. He believes it's a Vauxhall Corsa.
If the taxi driver's trapped and the Corsa's made off, I don't know if the Corsa would have gone far, if it's been able to get very far at all, due to the damage.
The damage to the taxi is considerable. The signs aren't good.
There was a taxi on the offside carriageway in the middle of the road. There was a road sign that had been demolished, which was in the Grass Centre Reservation.
What do you think? What's happened here? Do you know? Do you know what's happened here yet?
The ambulance and the fire service were there treating the guy, trying to get him out.
Yeah, right, lovely.
I always aim for the white helmet. I try to use that as a point of reference. You know, he's the man in charge.
It's a two-vehicle RTC.
Right.
The other vehicle's made off, but during the course of the RTC, this vehicle's been spun. There's been a collision with this post here. Obviously, what you can see we're doing at the moment is he's got suspected spinal injuries.
Right.
So we're just making it convertible, basically.
Lovely.
So we can get him out. It's not time critical or anything like that, but we're just trying to manage it.
Lovely, great. I'll let you carry on now. I'll let you carry on. Thanks, that babe.
The account that we had from the driver was that he was forced off the road. He thought by a silver Corsa. So obviously that sort of focused our sort of investigations into looking for this silver car and trying to gather a bit of evidence.
Vicks, how the world smells in full colour. Helps clear blocked noses in minutes, lasts for hours. And when your little one is snuffly, Vicks. How the world says goodnight to a cold. Vicks Vapor Rub soothes coughs, relieves blocked noses.
I could really do with a snack.
Yeah. No. Get in the bowl.
You get in the bowl. Really? Couldn't find a bigger bowl, huh?
Yeah, I slept a bit. Thank you. Thank you.
Look after yourself.
Bye. See you later. Marie Curie nurses work through the night to bring light in the darkest hours.
The Danish Girl has been nominated for 3 Golden Globe Awards, including Best Actor Eddie Redmayne and Best Actress Alicia Vikander. The Danish Girl.
Want to make the most out of every day, even in winter? Try drinking Actimel. It contains yogurt and Alkasai live cultures. It also contains vitamins D and B6, which support the normal function of the immune system, so you feel ready to take on the day. Actimel. Has your immune system had breakfast today?
Right now at Benson's for Beds, in our winter sale, be better off. There's 20% off all bedroom furniture. Don't miss out. Be better off. Be Benson's.
can get whatever your heart desires when you go all-inclusive. First choice, Atoll Protected.
Discover Double Effect from Nivea, the highly effective eye makeup remover that's as easy as shake and wipe. With its Double Effect formula, it even removes waterproof makeup, leaving no traces. Complete cleansing with Nivea Care. No compromise.
Let's just keep this between you and me.
Get half price on hearing aids at Boots. Let's feel good.
A woman out in this white hell? What are you laughing about?
He talks funny.
One of these strangers
I'm taking this woman to heck.
has a deadly secret.
One of y'all's working with her.
It's Tarantino's masterpiece.
Anybody does anything.
Kill him.
Starting to see pictures, ain't you?
The Hateful Eight.
It was the Victorians who cherished the idea of home as a domestic haven. Many of the appealing innovations they welcomed into their homes, they were killers.
I'm going to search out these hidden killers and reveal how science both created them and solved the problems they caused.
Hidden Killers of the Home starts Tuesday the 19th of January, new to yesterday.
It was the Victorians who cherished the idea of home as a domestic haven. Many of the appealing innovations they welcomed into their homes, they were killers.
I'm going to search out these hidden killers and reveal how science both created them and solved the problems they caused.
Hidden Killers of the Home starts Tuesday the 19th of January, new to yesterday.
Did you know a swan can actually break a
Mark,
man?
I'm leaving you. I'm leaving you, I'm sorry.
In Cardiff, PC Lewis has had a breakthrough. A vital new bit of evidence has come to light concerning what happened to the pedestrian struck down by a mystery red car.
Whilst dealing with the incident, we've been approached by a female who lives opposite the collision site.
One of the 4 million cameras in the country happens to be on this street, right beside where Mark was knocked over.
It transpired that they had CCTV cameras fitted to the front of their property. And she suggested we might want to view them.
And all is not what it at first seemed.
See him on his phone for a number of seconds. And then, for absolutely no apparent reason, he just walks out into the carriageway and lays down. Unbelievable. No vehicles go past him, nothing. Nothing whatsoever, just lays there.
The search for the mystery car can be called off. But his dad's not too happy.
His natural reaction was he wanted to kill his son, I think. We viewed CCTV in a premises directly outside where this incident occurred, which shows him lying down in the carriageway and no vehicles passing him until his friend arrived approximately 5 minutes later. So it would appear to be fantasy.
What can I say to that?
I'm his father. Go nick him. What have you got nick him for?
His father's alongside us now, asked us to go and arrest him for something. So,
nick him for wasting your time. Go on, lock him up.
Nightmare. He's got his son making a complete and utter fool out of him. It's embarrassing, really, isn't it? Completely and utterly embarrassing. We viewed the CCTV, you just see him just walk out and lie down.
He's on his phone here. Yeah. He walks around the circle by there. Yeah. And for some reason, it's wet. Why like that? Yeah. It's wet. Yeah. Who's dry can understand.
Because even when the paramedics were here.
Fallen over then.
No, he's laid down. He was actually laid down in the carriageway. Yeah. But even when the paramedics here lifted his leg and all that, yes. He's screaming. And his dad, by this point, had obviously completely lost his rag. Yeah.
Hot on the heels of the dad, the cops need to get to the hospital first to prevent there being a genuine casualty. In Swansea, they're still trying to get the crashed taxi driver out so they can get him to hospital. PC Griffiths and a traffic colleague have got a fresh lead in the search for the silver car.
I don't know whether that...
That's a scuff mark, isn't it? Because he's broken the curb here as well.
PC Griffiths' car know-how is coming in useful.
At the side of the road was a piece of plastic, part of the grille, from what I recognise to be a Renault Clio. So all of a sudden we've got a Corsa, which could possibly now be a Clio.
If it is a Renault, which I think it might be, it's going to have front-end damage to the bonnet area. The plastic left, we think, is the part of the grille and the lip of the plastic that fits under the bonnet. So part of his grille is here, so it looks like he's going to have quite extensive front-end damage when this vehicle's found of it. The Mondeo behind is the taxi. From the driver's talking, he's conscious. What he's saying is he's been tagged from behind. He's been hit from behind by another vehicle. He thinks it's a Corsa. He's in the taxi now. He's trying ambulance trying to get him out. He's complaining of pain to his left side. He's talking, he's conscious, but obviously they're treating him with precaution just in case he has a spinal injuries. But looking at the debris on the road, he says it was a Corsa, but looking here, it looks like we got a Renault because there's bodywork here with the Renault emblazoned across it. But at the moment, we can just let the other emergency services carry on, do their job, and we can wade in later.
There's more evidence pointing to what happened further back up the road.
There is a bit of scuff marking on the rear offside.
Right.
On it.
I wonder if he's clipped this curb up here, this corner here. Look.
There's a scuff there.
Look, there's a scuff all the way along here.
And it's pointing towards human error. The taxi driver's own human error.
It became apparent after a while that he had straight-lined the roundabout, but in doing that had clipped the curbstones on the roundabout, which had left the mark.
And there's a bit here, there's a bit there, there's a bit there.
By clipping the curb, he's lost his back end, which has caused him to go over the grass and end up in the position he was in.
I'm just wondering whether or not this silver car ever existed.
There.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
There.
Because on the curve of the roundabout, there's scuff marks on the curbstones.
Right.
So it looks to me, and Keith at the moment, he's straight-lined it. And he's nudged his arse end out, right, which has sent him spinning.
Yeah. Which would have unsettled him, and if he's done that sort of thing, and then he's gone, that would put him into this position.
And between the pair of us, you know, with Keith with far more experience than what I've got, we managed to piece it all together and come to the conclusion, the pair of us, that there was no other car.
This side?
Yeah.
He's come across.
Clobbered that.
The rear has hit there.
Yeah.
And then the car has spun around through 180 degrees.
The taxi driver has had his chips.
Warm chips. Definitely not my din-dins.
He's come this way.
Eating and driving, a recipe for disaster.
We've got the Rogue bodywork parts, but I think that's just cruel coincidence. It's just happened to be there at the same time. Perhaps there's been an earlier bump here, I don't know. He was lucky there was no passengers in the car because he'd be facing far more serious questioning than simply asking him what happened because, you know, it's a taxi driver. You've got to remember it's his professional business. It's his duty of care to get his passengers to the destination they want to go to, which would be home and not the local hospital.
At the local hospital in Cardiff, the man run over by the mystery red car is about to learn that his accident was caught on camera.
It's the police, mate.
I am.
How are you?
Okay.
Anything you want to tell me?
As in...
What car did you over, mate?
As in what car did you over?
A red one.
Was it? Okay. Now start again.
On a serious note, right, okay? At the moment, I can tell you what's happened, all right? You've wasted my time, 4 other police traffic cars, okay? 2 paramedics and an ambulance, and all these people in here. We viewed the CCTV, which shows you walking down the pedestrian footpath and then just lying in the road and no cars going past.
I swear.
Your dad's viewed it as well?
Don't touch me.
Where's the phone?
Your dad has viewed it as well, mate.
Get my phone now, sleep, and I will tell you.
Your dad has viewed the CCTV with us. His son was actually in a room on his own, which made it a little bit easier. Made it easier for us, and made it easier for the dad to have a word with him, shall we say.
I'll be waiting for you outside.
What did you just say then?
You've wasted everyone's time, mate.
Yeah, I swear I'm dead, and I wouldn't fake this, but my neck is actually quite sore.
It's going to be quite sore. You've been in a collar for the last 15, 20 minutes.
My leg is very sore.
Okay, your leg's very sore, but you've wasted all that time saying you've been hit by a car.
There's a reason for that.
Well, there is. He's quite embarrassed, isn't he?
Well, all I can see it in my eyes, in my head.
Yeah, but he's quite embarrassed of what's going on. No, mate. Unfortunately not. Well, unfortunately not, because you've faked a road traffic collision that's wasted God knows how many people's time, wasted all these resources.
And my leg is actually really sore.
Really sore? Why is it really sore then, mate? Because all you've done is lay down in the road.
It's like that.
I think you've wasted enough people's time now, haven't you?
Well, my leg is sore.
We've spoken with paramedics, doctors and the nurses who were overseeing his care. We've informed them of what we'd seen on the CCTV cameras. They were astounded. They couldn't believe it.
Wasting police time with false reports is a criminal offence, which PC Lewis isn't taking lightly.
I don't make that name, please.
Well, we'll go outside and I'll be giving you a fixed penalty notice for wasting police time. Okay?
Can I go through that?
What's that, mate?
My dad will with me, please.
Oh, I'll keep your dad away from you.
As in, out my face because he will flip.
I'm not so... Well, I would flip as well.
No, I'm lying to you because I'm not good.
It was phenomenal, really. Something I hadn't seen before.
Where's my dad, please?
Their resources are dwindling all the time, paramedics. Sorry, folks. And the people crying out for them, and they're just dealing with incidents like this. It's crazy. Sorry, folks. Come on, police car over here. Police car over there. Police car over there, or I'll drag you over there. To do something like that, it's just not normal. And even when he's leaving the hospital, he's hobbling out of there.
Don't make this nothing wrong with your leg. Don't give me all out of your leg.
As you say, we're going to give him a ticket now for wasting police time. I'm not really sure what was going on in that head, to be honest, but there was certainly no road traffic collision. Yeah, if you could, I'm going to deal with it by way of a fixed penalty notice for wasting police time. That's how we chose to deal with it, which is an £80 fine. I can safely say in 11 years' service, it's not something I've seen previously. I'm not aware of any of my colleagues having dealt with something similar, so thankfully people don't tend to waste their time too often.
Here I go out to sea again. The sunshine fills my head.
Mornings always seem to be that bit more wonderful after a good night's sleep. Which is why all our hotels come with luxurious king-size Hypnos beds. And a good night's sleep guaranteed wherever you are.
Wonderful.
Premier Inn. Wake up wonderful.
It's time to go all in. Buy one all-inclusive cruise fare and get one half price. Royal Caribbean, where extraordinary happens.
This is a smart finger. Using the motors.co.uk smart search, it can find history-checked cars by things like running costs, insurance group, or any extras. And it can save money, searching thousands of cars reduced in price. Let your smart finger find the right car for you at motors.co.uk.
Critics are raving. Daddy's Home is home to plenty of family-sized laughs.
He's a lot of bike, man.
Daddy's Home.
Sophie can't tell anyone about her suffering. Her abuser says it's their little secret. Jack can't call us for help. He's terrified of being beaten. Ben can't speak out, and he hasn't been fed all day. Right now, too many abused children are too terrified to cry out for help. They can't stop their pain, but you can. Please text CAN to 70800 to give just £3 to the NSPCC's helpline appeal. Your £3 will help answer an urgent call about a child at risk and take immediate steps to protect them. So text CAN to 70800 now. Jack can't stop his suffering, but you can.
It's the big sale at HMV with CDs from only $4.99. Like the #1 albums from years and years. Elvis with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, Jamie Lawson and Jess Glynn. The big sale in store and online at HMV. Home of entertainment.
Break up with lingering food. Keep an extra white bottle pack close by and help maintain your teeth's natural whiteness.
Eat, drink, chew.
Extra.
At Pure Gym, we welcome the night owls and the early birds. Those in the spotlight where time is tight, but the outfit can't be. We welcome the singles who don't work to a schedule and couples who have to work to a budget. We welcome the players, the pros, or simply the works in progress. Go to puregym.com now to join, or get a 3-day pass for free. Pure Gym. Everybody welcome.
Moon River, wider than a mile.
Wherever you'll be going, I'll be going your way. I'll be crossing you in style someday, someday. Hey yo, dream maker, wanderlust in your wild. Heartbreaker, I'ma cross you in style. Where you're going, I'll be. Yo, I'll be going your way.
Your nutritional needs are as unique as your fingerprints. That's why Centrum scientifically tailors multivitamins for men and women. Centrum Men contains more vitamin B1 for normal heart function, while Centrum Women is high in calcium to help support bone strength. And both have 24 balanced nutrients to help you stay in tune. Centrum, now half price at Boots.
This January, the Have I Got News For You workout is the first step to a happier you.
I do 1 rep of week's headlines, 1 rep of odd one out round, a little bit of banter, missing words, and then repeat. It's basically just watching Have I Got News For You over and over again. Sometimes I have a cup of tea and a biscuit with it.
Have I Got a Bit More News For You? Starts Sunday the 10th of January on Dave.
Tonight at 9, Stephen Fry and guest play I Spy on QIXL, or Surveillance to give it its modern name. While at 10, there's a storm of stand-up comedy with Eddie Izzard's show, Force Majeure.
The taxi driver who wasted police time by saying a phantom car forced him off the road is going to need a new vehicle for his business. This one's just about been written off.
If there was passengers in that taxi, I wouldn't have liked to seen the outcome. You know, he could have been seriously injured in that. He said the taxi was in a mess.
The road sign's a bit mucked up as well.
Yes, he's damaged street furniture, but nobody else has been hurt. He's either been going back to the office or to a call, and he's trying to get there as quick as he can. But in doing so, he's sort of misjudged the roundabout slightly when he's tried to straight line it, and that's what's caused him to spin around and go off the road.
While the smashed-up taxi departs for the knacker's yard, PC Griffiths is heading for the hospital to check out its driver.
He didn't have any alcohol in his system, that was fine, but it's just one of the procedures to go through after a bump to breathalyse the drivers. He was a very lucky boy. I think he had a bit of a bruise into his hip. He was released from hospital.
He may not be so lucky when all the evidence is in. He might be charged with driving offences.
Thank you. I don't know if it's already been requested, but regarding the CCTV for the bump in the Liberty Stadium, can someone contact CCTV and ask them to retain that tape, because we're going to be needing it over?
One of our next inquiries was checking the CCTV. All they could show us on the CCTV was a blur of a white vehicle going so quickly that the cameras couldn't pick it up that well. But significantly, there's no other vehicle in that clip. It was just a nice sort of smile on your face, satisfaction moment that, yeah, I knew what was going on here, and I was right in the end.
The cops have had a tip-off in the hit-and-run investigation. The suspect is a disqualified driver, well known to the police.
In relation to that bump that we had yesterday, information has been received now that we've got a potential name for the driver. An anonymous call came in from a member of the public who's basically said that they had seen that person driving the car 4 hours before the bump. Just doing a niche check on him. He's got one confirmed address and 2 or 3 possible addresses. One of the addresses may be a bit anti-police, so just need to have a look at the intelligence on it, just to confirm exactly what's going on. So it's just getting all the paperwork done sorted, first of all, before we go hunting. It didn't take long to put the team together. We had the information at, say, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, and we were out hunting by midday. Hiya, all right? Is here? Can I come in a minute?
Yeah. My mum's upstairs.
Was she upstairs, yeah?
Yeah.
Looked around the house, a voluntary search around the house. Couldn't find him for love nor money.
There's no sign of the man they're hunting for, but they've found a useful gadget for unpicking car locks.
The longer someone's in trying to start a car, the more chance we've got of getting there. So if they can carry what turns out to be half a scaffolding pole.
This goes on the ignition column and they start it straight off. Takes the steering lock clean out.
Then they're away before someone would probably even realise that the car's been taken.
At Force headquarters in Bridgend, work is going on to see if any fingerprints can be found on the inside of the ignition cowling, found broken in the stolen red Metro. The process involves evaporating superglue inside a sealed chamber. The vapour sticks to any residue left by someone's fingers on the plastic they've touched. A good print has been uncovered. It's just a matter of photographing it so an expert in the nearby fingerprint bureau can now analyse it and try and match it with one on the police database. Fingerprints are one of the best pieces of evidence in any crime. The chances of 2 people having the same ones are in the billions.
Fingerprints is an exact science.
The expert must be sure he's got a matching print by finding identical characteristics.
That's the person.
Oh, top man. Exactly what I wanted to hear. Any other prints lifted or any other persons possibly mentioned?
And the news could not be better.
Right.
The prints belong to the person he's been looking for. With the noose closing in, the prime suspect has at last agreed to hand himself in for questioning.
RTCs occurred at Llanrwellt Road, junction with Plough Road, where a stolen vehicle has collided with a pedestrian in the carriageway. And information being received that is possibly the driver of that vehicle. And because of the nature of the incident, we need to bring him in and have a chat soon rather than later.
The man has brought his pyjamas with him. He's fearing the worst.
There was stuff that his mother had given him, just in case, so he'd be clean and tidy when if he went to court the following day, and if he was going down.
Despite Mellor's friendly approach, the man didn't want to talk when he was interviewed after all. He refused to answer any questions, including how it was that only his fingerprints were found in the car.
If he doesn't want to account to it for me, fine, account for it to the courts. They're the ones who make their minds up. They're the ones who will put him behind bars again. And he's got to come up with a damn good reason why his fingerprint was there to stop him from going to prison.
10 minutes.
There were options there for him to have said, well, the reason it happened was because it wasn't really my fault. And he still didn't give those answers. We're not judge and juror. We're the evidence gatherers. So we're not in a position where we can say how it's going to do or how far it's going to go, whatever the case may be. We're guided by others. So it'd be nice to let the pedestrian know exactly what's happening.
3 months after he was knocked down, Alan, the pedestrian, still hasn't fully recovered from his injuries.
If I'm in bed, I still get a bit of pain on top of my shoulder. I heard a screeching noise, and as I turned round, seen a car towards me, it was on the floor. Really annoyed because they'd left me laying down in the cold weather, and I think in a pool of water. And then I could feel the blood coming down on my face. And probably he could do it again, all over again. You know, we can go down the road, get another car and do exactly the same.
Nobody was ever put on trial for running Alan over. Despite the only suspect's fingerprints being found in the stolen car, The Crown Prosecution Service decided that there was insufficient evidence to prove he was driving it at the time of the accident.
Why they didn't decide to run with it, I don't know. The decision is out of our hands, to the point that the charges that we can put forward are only mere recommendations. Alan got away with his life. Thankfully, what if Alan had been laying there for another 2-3 minutes? What if the car had been going that extra 5 miles an hour and knocked him unconscious? We would have been looking at a lot worse.
Tonight at 10, it's Globetrotting Giggles with Eddie Izzard's stand-up show Force Majeure. Next up, it's QIXL.
It's very simple. You
It
just.
looked as if Zeus himself had sculpted those acts. A thunder was rising deep within me. As I quivered, Kevin removed his chaps.
It was the Victorians who cherished the idea of home as a domestic haven. Many of the appealing innovations they welcomed into their homes, they were killers.
I'm going to search out these hidden killers and reveal how science both created them and solved the problems they caused.
Hidden Killers of the Home starts Tuesday the 19th of January, new to yesterday.
In an hour's time here on Dave, there's stand-up comedy from the man who coined the phrase cake or death, as Eddie Izzard unleashes his show Force Majeure. Now though, it's QIXL.
Which mortgage advisors sponsors Weekends on Dave? Good decision.
Where tonight, once again, the eyes have it. I Spy with my little eye, the illustrious Sandy Toksvig. The indubitable Jimmy Carr. The incorrigible Lee Mack. And the hilarious Alan Davis. I hear with my little ear they're buzzers. Sandy goes.
Aye,
aye. Jimmy goes.
Oi, oi!
Lee goes.
Aye, 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 aye!
And Alan goes.
I've got a lovely bunch of
Bless. Now, don't forget your nobody knows joker. Yes.
Nobody knows.
That's the one, like that. There is a question tonight to which the real answer is nobody knows. And if you can predict which that question is and wave your banner, then you'll get points. And so, to question question one. No, I was right the first time. What's the difference between an I and an I? Have you heard of an I? It's a very useful word in Scrabble. A-I.
It's yes. Oh, yes, that's a yes, a sloth.
A sloth, exactly. But what about an I?
2 sloths.
All right, so we've got the I. Where does the I live, this sloth? Where does it
In a tree.
Yeah, in which part of the world would you expect to find it?
South America.
South America is the right answer. They're wonderful things. They look like humans dressed in a sloth costume, as a matter of fact. They're really...
Yeah, but to be fair, you could say that about any animal, couldn't you?
No, but
a giraffe looks like a human dressed in a giraffe costume.
You look at a picture of an eye, and I think you'll see what I mean. That does look like a person in a costume.
It looks like he's climbing up a tree, which looks like a man dressed as a tree.
He also looks like